and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You're burying me, burying me. Yeah, you're burying me, burying me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. Whoa. I can see, I can hear, going crazy by the light. It's got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Everyone is watching me when I'm coming around. They all are judging me when I'm lying on the ground. I've got no shelter, I've got no escape. My life is a prison and I can't run away. I feel it in my bones. I'm losing it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Taking Over. I am OLED Ed Fries, and I am joined by the natural Astrid Pizarro as we go ahead and have a ordinary, nothing special edition of Taking Over. There's nothing special about tonight. Promise me there's nothing special about tonight. We got our good friend Bobby Munson saying hello, Astrid and Ed. Happy NXT Tuesday to you both. Happy Tuesday to you as well, Bobby Munson. We got Barry Monkey jumping in and saying hello. Barry Monkey was just in the Rowdy Warrior chat as I was in there as well. And on the Our Local Establishment account at least. And he did say this in there too, but fuck me, must be Friday by now. That contract signing dragged on. It was a long contract signing. But there's a lot of good bits to it. I didn't hate it, but I feel like they could have cut about half of it out and it would have been better. There were improvements to be made, and me and Ashley are going to have a discussion because she and I vastly disagree on portions of this contract signing just from our own private chat.
Yes.
We got our local establishment overlord saying no abundance of things to talk about. No, we do not have a plethora of things to talk about. We don't have a bounty of things to talk about. We don't have a bevy of things to talk about. We're just here to go ahead and have a good time and talk about the wonderful things that is NXT. Ashley, what did you think of NXT tonight?
It was okay. I feel like last week was better. And I feel like it kept my attention a lot more than this week. But it was like, I would say like, I guess average is the word.
So the title of this episode is GM Ava is Official. But it was the second title that I had for the show. Because throughout the show, I had made a note of something in my notes, and it was Stories Abound heading into Vengeance Day. Because my God, that Battle Royal in last week's show has just given us a beautiful plate, a buffet, if you will, of different storylines that have started out of all the things that happened last week. And I'm very excited for that.
I told you that was going to happen. The moment that Battle Royal happened, I said, this is going to bring a lot of stories afterwards. That's what usually happens. So,
but not only just in the women's division, there was a bunch of stuff that happened in the men's division too that had stories going on. Bryce's improvements, I can name a few, like those 3 spike skills. Well, you know what? Let's get into it now. Let's get into the discussion now about the recap, shall we say, of the contract signing. It was long. We can both agree with Barry that it took too long.
Yep.
They gave both women ample opportunity to tell a lot of words, and they didn't do that bad. Like, I'll say Lyra really impressed me in this. I thought Lyra did a very good job in this, where she was holding her own. She kind of held court. I was really identifying with a lot of things that she had to say. I liked the fact that she was like, I'm mentally and physically stronger than you. I think it's nice to tie that all the way back to Roxanne losing the title with the anxiety issues. I think that's a nice touch. It might be a touch overstepping by using that mental illness as a knock on her as a babyface, but I'm okay with it because it's more of a jab than it is like a storyline piece that they're going to use. What I didn't like about this, more than anything else, is Roxanne as a shit-eating grin heel, which is what she was doing in this. Make no mistakes about it. In this promo, she was the shit-eating heel. It feels icky. I don't like it. She doesn't. So people said Bayley couldn't be a heel. There was a number of people who said Bayley couldn't be a heel. There's one vast difference between Bayley and Roxanne. When Bayley was a babyface, I believed that she can be mean. I believed that she can be ruthless. I have zero belief that Roxanne has the ability to do either of those things.
And it's like, I feel the same way with Roxanne in that aspect of, she hasn't had the opportunity to do it. So it's like, it's hard for me to say right now she's going to be a terrible heel because we haven't seen it yet. We really haven't. And I feel like this could be a good challenge for her in that aspect, for her to try something new. You already kind of heard it tonight through certain parts of it when she kept going on Lyra. People kept booing her a little bit more and more. So it's like you could see like there's already that. And I mentioned it here for weeks now. We see that transformation through a Roxanne little by little. We noticed that I think from like around Halloween Havoc when she got more like aggressive, and I said she needed to have more of an aggressive side. So we've seen changes from her. So I think that's something similar, like you said, to Bailey's process. You know, you first think of Bailey's like, there's no way she could be a good heel, and then look at her now. You're like, yeah, I don't know how she's gonna be back to a babyface now after she went like such a heel. But I feel like Roxanne does need that experience, so that's what I want her to be a heel, because I want her to be able to like expand herself and say I can be both.
Yeah, Barry's saying also all three of them sitting back from the table. Did anybody not see the end? It's a contract signing in WWE, Barry. I know you watch Impact. You know how this goes. People sign contract, person goes through table. This, unless you're in New Japan, this is how things work. Contract signing equals person goes through table. That is the least problematic portion of this entire segment. And by the way, the spine buster from Tatum Paxley through that table was perfection. Yeah, let me say that. Speaking of Tatum, I mentioned something to Astrid during this, and I know I'm not the horror movie expert, but I've seen enough horror movies to know that when one person goes, we're on the same page, right? Everything's going to be okay. We know exactly what our goal is. And they walk away and the other person sits back and basically does the Mr. Burns. When they do that, you know something bad's about to happen. I literally messaged Astrid as soon as I saw that and go, she's going to kill Roxanne and bury the body, isn't she?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. But like I said, I think if you cut some of those words out, I think this promo gets better. However, I do love the audacity of Lyra Valkyria to manage with a straight face to get out the line, I've replaced you, in that promo. Kudos to you, honey, because one, you haven't. Nobody has. I'll be honest, not even Tiffany did. And I adore Tiffany, and I thought her run was pretty good once they got it started. It took forever to get going, but once they got it going, it was fantastic. But no, Roxanne still runs that division until she's not there, and then even after that.
Definitely, for sure. I feel like she's a tough one to replace.
We have Bobby jumping in as the other horror movie expert in the chat. There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to survive a horror movie. Yes, I've seen the first 30 minutes of Scream. I know that. It's in the first 30 minutes of the first Scream movie, isn't it? The part where the white guy gets up and he's like, stop! These are the rules for surviving the horror movie.
No, it's the last couple minutes of the movie.
Is it really the last couple minutes?
Yeah, it's the third act. No, yeah, it's definitely a third act climax. So
it's somewhere in there in the first Scream movie.
Sure.
The first Because the first 10 minutes where Drew Barrymore gets killed. Other than that, the rest of the movie sucks.
Disagree. You can't say that.
I can. I just did.
No.
We're going to go ahead and go back to the start of the show. We had a Battle Royal recap. It was a lengthy recap. Hold on. Edge, you fool. Wash your mouth out with soap immediately. No, I refuse. The Scream movies are not good movies.
Think of Scream and all the movies that came after that got influenced by Scream.
Why? Why would I want to? They're all terrible too.
No, they're not.
You know what's a better movie than Scream? I Know What You Did Last Summer. I Know What You Did Last Summer is a better version of Scream.
No.
Oh, shocking. The guy we thought is a good guy is the killer all along. Oh, no. We'll do it 14 more times, too.
Well,
oh, no.
Before we talk about the recap, for those of you that don't know, Ed's birthday is coming up. Woohoo! So
Yes,
me being me, I did something a little bit special for OLED, as you can see by his name, because he's really turning old. So we have a couple messages from special friends. So I'm going to start off with the overload since we have him right there at the top. So here you go.
Hi there, Ed. Somebody told me that it's your birthday and that it might be a big birthday, in fact, too. So I want to take a moment to wish you the happiest of days here, Ed. Happy birthday to you. You're an amazing friend. You're a hilarious person. You do amazing work, and you're always there for everybody. So absolutely awesome person, and I hope you have an equally as amazing, memorable day today. All the best to you, my friend. Happy birthday. Take care, and we'll see you soon.
Yay! Yes, I'm turning 40 on Thursday, so it is definitely going to be a milestone.
I got more coming.
That I'm not
That's
excited
not the
for.
end.
Oh, goody. Well, we get Braun Strowman. We get Braun Breaker coming out. Don't know why I'm thinking about Braun Strowman. We get Braun Breaker coming out, and he's all excited. And then Baron Corbin's music starts, and he's like, "Damn, he didn't let me get my thing in." And out comes Baron Corbin wearing this big ass shitty wolf head. It was great. Oh, it was great.
I'm enjoying this. I hate this. Why is this happening?
Baron's laughing at him. Braun takes the head and throws it down the ramp. It's hysterical. I thought it was great. They get into the ring. Out comes Nathan and Axiom. I like the entrance thing that they do with the only portion of Nathan's music that we get is that little like ricochet ping electricity thing that goes through the ring. And then as soon as like the lightning bolt hits and Nathan comes out, it switches to Axiom's music, which is much better music to begin with.
Yeah.
Yep. And then they do the weird slow motion fast forward entrance that I don't like.
Yeah. I love it. They look like
superheroes
together.
40 no, not yet. I'm still 39 for 2 more days, but yes, I will be turning 40. What did you think of the attack from the baby faces before the match to the heels?
I feel like it definitely shows that like they're thinking like they're bigger guys, so might as well take any advantage that we can. To be honest, it's just surprising because it's something you never think of. Like you kind of think about like maybe a Nathan because of what's happening with him right now, but it's surprising from Axiom though. But still, it's one of those like let's take any moment that we can and take advantage of it and get a win over here. And it's surprising, but it's still in a good way.
The creativity of the way they did it too, like a lot of these spots in it, they kind of let Baron and Braun kind of lead themselves into trouble. Axiom jumps over the stairs and Braun stops, and then Nathan goes ahead and drop kicks him into the stairs, and then Baron starts getting up to go ahead and attack Nathan and Axiom does a drop kick off the stairs onto Baron Corbin. Bunch of fun there. We get into the match, and this by far is my match of the night. This match was fantastic. From start to finish, these guys put on a clinic, back and forth. I knew Baron and Braun had to win this match because it's the only object that you do unless you're having them face each other at the pay-per-view. And I still bit on some of these near falls for Axiom and Nathan. Like I really thought they might win a couple times in this match. I don't know why Baron and Braun work so well together, but they do. They break that mold of, because they're not just two single stars who are just good. It's like, even though this isn't a well-established tag team, I can believe these two guys beating a well-established tag team because they understand how to tag team wrestle. They just have to do it. And they have just enough arrogance in their abilities that they can. Plus, they're bigger than everybody else. I think if they had a team that was as big as them, I think that they would struggle. They should at least struggle against a tag team that was as big as them. But for guys like this, the storytelling in this match made perfect sense. But the ending of the match, as everything else with these two, is chef kiss. Baron goes ahead and hits the end of days on Axiom, and Nathan tries to get involved. He gets Baron out of the way and then gets speared through his body. I was surprised the inside stayed on the inside for this spear. It was fantastic. And he gets the big win.
I feel like there was a lot of like good spots. Because one thing I love about it is like being under the bigger guys, they're able to like, I don't want to say like that, but like manhandle the guys in such a way that looks incredible when you think about it visually. And there's that part when he did the deep six and brainbuster combination that looked incredible. And even I love from Axiom and Nathan when they do that Spanish fly Phoenix Splash combination as well. That was amazing to see. And the idea that made me laugh is that when Nathan does the Phoenix Splash, he goes to pin Bron, Baron comes in to break the pin. I'm like, don't you see he's right in front of you? Like, of course he was gonna break the pin. Like, there was no way he was gonna let you win it. But I feel like both teams had such a great chemistry. I feel like everything looked great. I'm glad this opened the show because they had such a high energy and it was incredible to watch it. I just wish it would have kept on going for me after that. But either way, this was probably my match of the night.
Barry saying this tag match was good enough to be in TNA. No higher praise can I give. I mean, I'll be honest. It was great. There was nothing wrong with this. Like you said, there was that one spot where, and the worst part is Axiom's looking in the wrong direction too. Not only is he just standing there, he's looking in the wrong direction. He's got, in every way, shape, and form that you could think he's looking in the wrong direction, he is. He's looking at the crowd, wrong direction. He's got his back to the camera, even more wrong direction. He's not looking at Baron Corbin, even more wrong direction. There's no earthly idea where he was in the right position for that spot, which is the only ding you can give on this match. Otherwise, fantastic. Baron and Bron move on to the finals, as expected. We have Ilya backstage talking to, it looked like Kelly Kincaid, but she had a headset on, so I think it was just some random lady backstage.
I was thinking it was her too.
And he gets mad at Josh Briggs for interrupting, and I'm like, but you weren't even having like a segment. You were just standing there talking to a member of production. Like, why are you mad? Like, why mad, bro? But Briggs goes ahead and says he needs to prove himself against and measure himself up to the Mad Dragon. To which Trix comes out of nowhere and goes, no. Nobody's going to hurt Ilya till I get a chance to face him at Vengeance Day. Fine, Trick. Fine, Trick. Trick goes ahead and steps up to Briggs. And after Briggs walks away, I don't know if you caught this, but I did. He said, yeehaw, bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hearing Trix go, yeehaw, bitch, and like the soft tone was just fantastic.
Yeah, loved it. It was unexpected for me, but I loved it.
Speaking of the women's division and the battle royal that we had last week, Wren is backstage psyching herself up or making herself a nervous wreck. I can't tell which. But it was good. I enjoyed getting to hear her talk, even if she's just rambling 1,000 miles an hour to herself, trying to figure out what the hell she's doing. Apparently, it's just a match with Lash Legend, and I'd be writing out my last will and testament if that were me having a match with Lash Legend, but for fear that she'd botched the powerbomb, which she did. Good job, Lash. Keeping up to standards, Lash. You can't even do your own finishing move powerbomb correctly. Good job. But Fallon comes in to try to talk to her, and Wren is still freaking out beyond belief. She tries to introduce herself to Fallon, which apparently she's already done. She gets advice from Fallon Henley, and then gives herself a high five as opposed to letting Fallon give her the high five. and runs off.
I think the funniest part to me is just I could relate so much to her freaking out the way she does, because that's how I freak out in my brain. Just people just can't see it, but like that's how it goes in my head when I'm overthinking. And I was like, when I saw her doing all that, I was like, well, this is how I will look like if I freaked out in person.
Yes, this is Maddie Renkowski, former NWA women's tag team champion, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
I've been told by multiple people that's what she is. I have no clue. She looks vaguely familiar, but
Yeah.
But yes, she was in the NWA. Oh, she looked as nervous as Ed getting ready to open his birthday gifts. Yes. No, thankfully I know most of my birthday gifts because my big gift is coming on February 2nd. I'm getting to go to Deuces Wild from Chaotic Wrestling, and I'm going to be able to go ahead and see Jake something for the first time. So that'll be something.
Well, since you're talking about birthday gifts, I'll give you another one. You ready?
Okay. Sure.
What's up, Ed? Ella J here. Just wanted to wish you a very, very happy birthday. I know Astrid has some surprises up her sleeve for you for this special occasion, including this video message right here, along with several others. So you'll have to stay tuned for what she has planned and in the future, because, you know, we love Astrid. She can be a little bit unpredictable sometimes, though. But anyways, back to you. Thank you so much for, you know, all the work we've been able to do. You have been so amazing, and I love corresponding with you. And I really genuinely hope we get to do more work in the future on screen. And hopefully, you know, we all need to finally meet in person for a wrestling event. It's just got to happen sometime, you know, maybe 2024 is the year. But in the meantime, I sincerely hope you take some time to relax, enjoy, have some cake. If cake isn't your thing, then maybe a brownie or a cupcake or something. Whatever fulfills your cravings, Ed, you go for it because it's your birthday, and I'm rooting for you, always. Anyways, thank you so much for all you've done for me and for the wrestling community. It has not gone unnoticed. And again, I really hope you have a phenomenal birthday, just like the phenomenal person you are, because you deserve it.
Thank you very much, Ella. That was great. I guess we're gonna mention it later on, but you saw it in the calendar earlier this episode that we are having Miss Ella J as the special guest for the Rumble post show, and it will be Bobby and myself doing the Rumble post show with Miss Ella J. So that will be a fun time this Saturday night. Unfortunately, Miss Astrid's going to be live at the Rumble, so she will not be able to join us.
It's okay.
Yes.
So,
good evening, lovelies. Good evening, Miss Mel. But yes, Maddie Renkowski, and then we go into the match versus Lash versus Wren Sinclair. But first, we get our big first piece of news where we get Ava coming out of the locker room, and we get an interesting conversation as she leaves, and she says, "That was a great meeting." And we hear some more voices, and the door opens, and William Regal is back!
woo! Yes.
More importantly than William Regal is back, we get the official notification from him that Assistant Ava is no more. GM Ava is here. Ava is now the official general manager of NXT. Is this a good thing or a bad thing for her career?
And the youngest one so far, so at 22. I think it'll be good for her just to be able to, like, should be able to act a little better and learn in that aspect from the people she's interacting with. So I think that will hopefully help her in the end. We'll see. So
yeah, sorry, I keep forgetting to hit the mute button. I apologize, folks. I'm dealing with a bit of a cough today. I literally joked with Astrid, cough, cough, and I've been coughing nonstop all day since.
you better
yeah, I brought it upon myself. Coincidence this happens the day her dad ends up on the board of directors. It's so funny to think of that. I agree. I do think it's hysterical that this was done today. When they've been moving this way for weeks, so I want to say yes, this is exactly the reason, but at the same time, it's obvious this was the plan from the get-go.
Yeah.
Sean hates being on camera nowadays. We all know that. We've seen it. Like, he doesn't mind coming out and doing a segment or two, but he doesn't want to be an on-camera authority. More importantly, he has more things to do on NXT days than be the on-camera authority. So instead of William, I'm surprised they don't do William Regal here. I'm really surprised with him on screen here that we didn't do William Regal. But he goes ahead and passes the baton. My bigger point with is this good or bad for her career is the question of, does this mean they've given up on her? Is this their way of being like, you're not good enough to be in the ring, so here's something you can do that's not an in-ring job?
I feel like usually, I don't know if it's me, but when it comes to general managers, sometimes, or I don't want to say sometimes, but I guess sometimes, yeah, they end up being like physical with a wrestler somehow, and they end up having that moment of like where we don't agree on something, they end up beating up each other. So I feel like either way, there's gonna end up being physical somehow with somebody. It's just a matter of like, let's train her while that's happening. So when we had that moment of like, we're gonna put you against this person, and then they go at it with each other, I feel like that's something that makes more sense later on.
Yeah, no, I agree. I wanted to bring it up because it's something you have to talk about when you take a young wrestling talent who they wanted to push as a professional wrestler and give her an on-screen role that's a general manager. You have to ask the question of whether or not it's because they don't feel like she's ready. I'm sure Ava got the job totally on her own ability and nothing to do with the family. Michael says one of Sean's eyes likes to be on camera. The other one doesn't. Oh, the lazy eye jokes will never get old with Shawn Michaels. It's fantastic. I think she ends up in the same relative storyline as Stephanie McMahon. Get her in front of the camera until she's ready. I agree. Like I said, I love the idea. I want Ava to be general manager. I mean, I tweeted her today. Assistant Ava is no more. GM Ava is here to stay. I love the idea that she's the GM. I just felt like it would be silly if we didn't talk about the fact that she's a young in-ring talent who's had 4 matches on television, and they quickly decided that she's out of the group and she's a general manager now.
Yeah, we'll see.
We get a shot from earlier today where Rizzo is down at the restaurant. There's broken plates everywhere, and OTM is threatening the staff, telling them to call the boys and clean up the restaurant. We'll hear more about this later. We get a recap of the Dijak and Joe Gacy feud. And Elektra finally decides to show up for work. Late, she's there. She's not the latest person here, though. We'll talk about him later. Elektra storming around backstage, asking people where Lola is. She's not happy. We got our good friend Lauren dropping in to lurk. Hello, Miss Lauren. Thank you for dropping in. We greatly appreciate it. We then get Dijak versus Joe Gacy. Well, sort of, kind of. Not really, but we do. So Dijak starts making his entrance. Joe Gacy attacks him. He jumps him. They fight. They brawl. Tables, ladder, the stairs, the whole nine. And then Dijak throws Gacy through the wall. And Joe Gacy comes back like a fucking horror. I told you this years ago when he was fighting Bron Breakker that he's a horror movie villain. I stick to it. This man is a horror movie villain. He got thrown to the wall, which is supposed to kill people. And he just got right back up. He's like, I'm still here.
He's the embodiment of the rules, like they always come back. There you go.
He is definitely the embodiment. I like this though. Like, we didn't need this match. I want this match, but like we didn't randomly need it. And every now and then it's okay to have 2 guys just fight each other hard enough that they don't have a match. Like, that's not a bad thing as long as you sparingly use it. And NXT doesn't pull this card often, so it makes it feel real. It makes it feel interesting and different. Good job on the storytelling. Also, having the recap right before the backstage thing with Elektra, and then having this brawl, I liked it. It all felt real because we didn't understand last week why this was a thing, and in 1 week they made a promo package of literally what happened the week before that makes all of this feel like it's a feud that we actually have to invest in. And again, that's kudos to one thing only: the video department WWE, which can make you believe anything is an important match. And if you don't believe me, watch the video package for this match and tell me.
No, now I was gonna say, since we have Lauren in the chat, might as well play Lauren's video now too.
Okay.
Ed, I always owe you one. We were mods together, and you saw something special in what I bring to the table. And your faith in me in the last year gave me faith in myself to report news again. So I'm glad that I still owe you one to this day. You made it through 2023, and I'm really proud to owe you one all the way through 2024. Happy birthday, Ed.
Thank you. You are all far too kind. I literally, I show up on a Tuesday night, I rant for the better part of 2 hours, and then we go home and we do our own thing. Thank you very much, Lauren. I greatly appreciate it. You are a fantastic talent who just needed a little bit of a nudge. That's all it was. Just a little nudge to do your own thing. If you're not following Lauren Goodnight on the Twitch, please go ahead and give her a follow. Just thank you very much. I'm not sure what I've done for you, but thank you for all the things that you've done for me, the advice and all the things. Thank you very much for all of that. I greatly appreciate it. You are a fantastic human. And if you haven't, please go check out Ella's interview with LGBT in the Ring, I believe is the podcast that Ella was on just this week as a guest. Please go ahead and give that a check out. I know Astrid has the link on Spotify somewhere. She'll be able to post it in the chat at some point. Yep. But thank you. It's easy to be kind to you. You are the kindest person in media. Like, it's not hard. I love when people are kind to me. Well, yes, I'm a nice guy. And if you just be nice to people, then it's what you're supposed to do. It's your default setting. Why be rude to people? Hashtag birthday takeover. Most times. Oh,
okay.
But yes, please.
Yes, LGBTQ in the ring. So.
We have the link in the chats, in any one of the Twitch chats. Go ahead and check that out. It was a fantastic interview. I watched it earlier. I listened to it earlier today. I did not watch it. Apparently, there is a video portion of it somewhere, but I have not seen it yet. Well, it was done on Zoom. So I assume the video is recorded somewhere. Anyways, we get back. We got Ariana Grace backstage practicing a promo that she was apparently planning to deliver to the crowd. And Elektra comes storming in looking for Lola Vice. This was great. If for no other reason than apparently randomly an interview with Santino Marella was made relevant today, where he talked about his daughter, Ariana Grace, and her work in NXT. And while he's proud of the work she's doing in the ring, and he thinks that her as an in-ring character and her in-ring work could be on the main roster today. And by the way, I agree with him. I think she's talented enough. I don't think she can lead in the women's division, but with the talent they have right now in the women's division, the bona fide talent, there's no reason why she can't be carried for 3 or 4 months till she picks up what she needs to be able to be on that main roster tomorrow. That being said, he wants to see her simmer in NXT for a year. I'd love to continue talking about Ariana Grace for another year because she's fantastic. In this promo segment, literally, she's talking to herself in the locker room, and it was perfect.
Yeah, I don't know how she does it. But yeah, she's always entertaining, though. I like how much she's grown. And if you think about it, she got injured and she was out for like, what, a year? Like, she could have been something else at this point. But I'm glad she's here now because I feel since we don't really have anybody doing that kind of comedy stuff right now in the women's division, so I think she will be a great addition or something we don't have right now.
And by the way, like, comedy wrestler, her father's Santino Marella. Like, she has the greatest well to draw from in WWE history of comedy wrestler with Santino. He's one of the best. The other best is literally currently doing it with the Judgment Day. And it's R-Truth. There's no better. I don't want to hear this Doink the Clown bullshit. No, it's not Doink. It's always been R-Truth and Santino at the top of that list. No,
yeah.
See, you're from a different generation. You don't remember Doink the
No,
Clown from the early
no,
90s.
I do, but still, I wouldn't put him in. I prefer, like you said, I prefer having like my Santino and my Wrong Killings R-Truth up there. Doink, I wouldn't put him up there, to be honest. We have to protect Truth at all costs. He's incredible.
I mean, so here's the thing. Ron Killings and R-Truth are two separate characters that need to be kept distance away. Because R-Truth, like, people think of R-Truth as a funny guy, and he is. He's hysterical. By the way, guys, he's 50 plus years old, and he's still doing this at a high level and entertaining us every Monday night with the Judgment Day. By the way, do you see the merch he's moving? Did you see the big wad of cash he was trying to give Damian last night on Raw? That was $100 bill on the outside. Even if it's all ones underneath, it's still a good night.
How much is he selling those shirts for? Like, he has a lot of money on him right now. What the heck?
It's the best-selling shirt in WWEshop.com right now.
Yeah, it really
If
is.
you want to go ahead and buy that shirt on WWEshop.com, you can go ahead and use this link and go ahead and put a couple pennies in Astrid's pocket every time you do. Go ahead and scan this QR code to go ahead to WWEshop.com and use Astrid's affiliate link. It doesn't cost you any more for the merchandise you're already going to buy, like that brand new R-Truth shirt, where it says it's the Judgment. It's basically the same shirt that Dom was wearing last night, but at the bottom it has in tape like a Kevin Owens thing and R-Truth. Please go make sure you go ahead and check that out. It's a fantastic shirt. It's great. I love it. No, we're not the Young Bucks. Let's not talk about the Young Bucks. Sometimes talking to yourself is having a conversation.
Okay. I'm going to play the next video since he's already here. Let's see if this works. If it doesn't work, I'll try again. Let's see.
Okay.
Hopefully it does. Okay, there we go.
Oh.
And I told you, I want that martini extra salty. Yes, just as salty as Ed is on AEW. You got it? Get it straight. Good. Oh, hey. I didn't realize we were recording here. Yeah, I hear there's a birthday around the corner here. Congratulations, Ed, on now becoming one of the senior members of the recording roster over here. It's glad to hear that somebody else is starting their age with a 4 now. But in all seriousness, Ed, watching how willing that you are to help out everybody all the time, your knowledge in all things wrestling, and, well, hell, in Marvel, in so many different aspects, and just how much of a quality person you are, it is truly a privilege to have you as a friend and a colleague. Once again, congratulations. Welcome to your 40s, and I hope you have the happiest birthday ever. And I hope that this year will become one of the best ever for you. Take care, and always remember, Tiffy time is always the best time.
Absolutely.
All I have to say now is it's Tiffy time.
It's always Tiffy time for Ed. I greatly appreciate that, Mike. Thank you for the kind words. It is fantastic. I know why you told me not to do this for your birthday now, because it's I love hearing good things about myself, but at the same time, it's
now you get it.
I appreciate all the kind words. Thank you all. It means the world to me. I greatly appreciate it. I am now a member of either the Four Horsemen or Fortune, whichever way I want to do it. I'll probably take Fortune.
I still got 5 videos left, so.
What the fuck? Oh, I'm eating jerky right now in honor of how salty you are.
You want me to play another one?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, I'll give you one that will keep you getting emotional.
Hello, Ed. Happy birthday. Now, you don't like when people compliment you or when people want to say something nice about you. But I'm going to tell you this, and I wanted to tell everyone that is watching this. You are probably one of the most funniest, down-to-earth, and incredibly gracious person I have come across. Now, why would I say that? You were the first person to ask me to be on OLE. Not only that, me and you have done a lot of things. I've been on NXT takeovers with you, review shows. I've done a lot, and it was all because of you. I wouldn't be doing YouTube if it wasn't for a select amount of people. And you're in that select amount of people because of what you've helped me to do. Now, you come across as a hard person, a hard bastard, and I tell you what, you are so incredibly brilliant with your insight to wrestling, and you are so great that the love and everything that you get today on your birthday, you need to take and you need to appreciate, because, man, I don't say this to a lot of people, but, and I mean this with the whole heart of my chest, I love you, man. Thank you for everything you've done, and I do hope you have an absolutely incredible birthday, and make sure you have a great time. Ed, not only do you annoy me about Gallus and a lot of other things, but you are incredible. I love you, man. Happy birthday, and I will see you very soon. Happy birthday to you. Come on, everyone. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Remind me to tell Mark not to sing again.
Yeah, no. Gallus' #1 fan. Mark talks wrestling. Mark talks gaming. Mark talks all kinds of things. Go ahead and check him out on YouTube. Mark talks all kinds of wonderful things. Thank you, Mark. I greatly appreciated that. Again, like with Lauren, I gave you a nudge in the right direction, and you guys take off with this stuff. It has nothing to do with me. I just give people the nudge that people gave me. I'm doing this because of a nudge I got from Tom Collihue to do something like this because he thought I'd be good at it. And I'm
You're
okay.
helping me a lot today. You know that? You wanna play Toms too? I'll play Toms.
All right, go ahead.
You're saying all the names. You're helping me.
Ed, my OG, the original and best. Since the day you randomly found me in a podcast recording on Twitch, I have never looked back, and I've never found anyone more supportive who has held me together at times with tape, and I've never met anyone who has had such a strong impact in keeping me going, keeping me together, and keeping me feeling like I was wanted. Happy birthday to you, and I want to send all of this love straight back to you. I am so glad to have met you, so glad to have played even a part in your life, and so glad to know you and have you as part of my community, my friendship group, and just the list of people that I care about. I hope you have a great birthday, and I just want to say thank you, mate. You mean a lot to me.
You're not gonna get me to cry. You're not gonna get me to cry. That was probably your best. That was probably your best opportunity to do it. But no.
Dang it. I still got 3 more. There's chance.
Yeah, that was probably. You'd have to get somebody real good to go ahead and outdo that one. No, thank you all. That is greatly appreciated. If you don't check out Tom Collihue stuff, please go check out Spoiler Warning. He is a fantastic friend. He is a fantastic mentor. I bounce a lot of things off of him. And hopefully, fingers crossed, you might be seeing some content between me and Tom coming up in March. However, we're going to get back to NXT now because apparently this show is going to go 2 hours and I'm going to get yelled at again like I was last week.
Yeah. We're not even close to it.
Lexis King has a promo backstage talking nonsense before. No, yeah, there was an NXT show tonight. We're supposed to be talking about that. Apparently, we're going to talk about me.
Yeah.
We then get to Barry Monkey, if he's still here, if all these videos haven't scared him away. Barry Monkey's favorite segment, as I messaged Astrid, what was the exact wording that I used for this? It is...
I don't know. Let's see.
Trying to think. I'm literally looking on Discord right now, people. I apologize.
Yeah, me too.
Here we go. Barry Monkey Special is what I called it. The Barry Monkey Special.
Mm-hmm.
Barry does also agree about Spoiler Warning. It's an excellent show. Speaking of things that were excellent, but only for comedy purposes, Robert Stone and his children are helping train Von Wagner for the Heritage Cup match at the UCF Stadium. I don't know if this has a name. Actually, you might know better than I do about the UCF Knights and what their stadium might be called. But this was fantastic.
I don't think I remember having a name.
I was going to say you're roughly from that area-ish.
That's my alma mater, yeah.
I was going to say, I'm like, I think you're pretty close to UCF.
Yeah, I went to UCF.
But no, they have the empty stadium. They have him training. My favorite part is they're asking him all the questions about the thing, and the part where he's bench pressing the child up and down over his head was just fantastic. The kids are great here. You can't manufacture I know we talk about how he's a charisma vacuum, and he normally is. And we talk about how he's a detriment to the product, and he is. And we talk about how I'd love to trade him to MLW for some of those stars, like the main event, which I would. But, God, there was something great about this segment. These kids, like, the charisma between the kids and Robert Stone and Vaughn and the connection between them all. You can't manufacture this by just putting kids on screen and going ahead and letting them go. There's something to this friendship between him and Robert Stone. It feels like that. It feels genuine and it feels great. I love this segment. It was great.
Okay, I found the name of it. I didn't know it had a name, to be honest. It was the FBC Mortgage Stadium, was used to be called the Bright House Network Stadium, which makes more sense. But yeah, that's what it's called. I had no idea.
We've got the second biggest Swiftie in the chat right now. We've got Papa Smoke here. And if you don't know all about that, you got to go check out the shorts on the Video Bros network. Well, on the Our Local Establishment network, but from the Video Bros shows on Thursdays. We greatly appreciate Papa Smokes. Thank you, Mr. Papa Smokes. I'm catching up to you slowly but surely. I'm going to get there. Mike saying these kids with Vaughn are like Ed in all these videos. Oh, the videos. No, the kids are great here. I thought this was a fantastic segment. And I want Vaughn to win. More so because I want to get rid of Metaphor. But I also want Vaughn to win because this was a great segment.
Yeah.
Sorry, Von Wagner just makes me laugh at how awful he is. But that's the thing. Like, tonight, he was genuine and decent. Like, he was actually funny and charismatic in this segment. And I felt charismatic energy coming from him. Yes, that's why we call it the Barry Monkey Special in the Discord chat when me and Astrid talk about the show as it goes. We then get Lexis King squashing Trey Bearhill. Oh, that'll be a short fucking hell. I thought Trey looked good here, though. I thought Trey did pretty well. What do you think, Astrid?
This was a match. No, I'm kidding. No, I feel like they did very well. It was just too short of a match, but I'm guessing just one of those things that it's Trey, so they're just giving him little bits and pieces for him to showcase himself. I mean, nothing new with Lexis King winning this match either. That doesn't surprise me at all. So
I don't know if Bobby would take Lexis King, but if we can get, like, I'm fine with Lexis King. I thought he was all right. I don't hate Lexis King. He's not the greatest, and he's not going to be his dad, but at the same time, I think he's doing just fine for a young wrestler. He's got a gimmick. He's trying to make it work. It's gonna irritate a lot of people, but it's not the worst thing. But like I said, I was more invested in this match just to see what Trey Bearhill had to offer, to see what's going on, because you kind of knew that Lexis was going to win this match, and it made a lot of sense. And they booked it perfectly. It didn't need to be a long match. It just needed to be long enough to give us an insight into Trey Bearhill. 2 weeks now, Trey Bearhill's been out there having matches. In 2 weeks, he's done a really good job. He's wrestled Dijak. He's wrestled Lexis King. He lost them both, like he should, but he looked good in both. He didn't have as much time as he did last week. But again, it's not the end of the world, and it's great. It's good for guys to get these short matches, to just go ahead, get their good stuff in, and get out before they really show themselves to be bad. Lexis King makes Vaughn look really energetic and charismatic. I mean, he's not that bad. Barry says, I went to the toilet and missed it. Genuinely, it must have been short. it didn't take long.
Yeah.
We get an up next package for Lola Vice on Supernova Sessions. But first, Mello finally shows up at the arena. At this point, it's like 9:15, and Mello's finally showing up for work. Good job, Mello. He claims he's been over there watching the LWO matches. I'm like, what? What matches? They haven't wrestled in like forever for the most part. What are you watching? But apparently he's found some LWO matches for them to watch. Trick's not watching them because Trick's getting ready for his match tonight. And Mello's not happy about Trick having to wrestle twice. And that Mello continues to reiterate that Ilya's trying to play Trick by making him fight all his battles for him. Huh.
It's happening. It's happening.
Mello channeling that Bret Hart too. Yeah, showing up halfway through the show. And he didn't even have to work. I don't even know why he bothered to show up. I should have just fucking called Trick and been on the screen.
Should have done that. Would have been more entertaining.
I mean, I like it. I just can't wait to see at the end of this show with the stare down that happened. I can't wait for Victor to continue to plead Mello's innocence, because that was not the fate of an innocent man. Speaking of people who aren't innocent, the man that runs the group that makes my Tuesday nights terrible, Noam Dar is on my television screen. Thankfully, without Lash Legend, without Jakara Jackson. But sadly, he still has the world's best Kofi Kingston impersonator, Ora Mensa, with him. They make a bunch of jokes about Von Wagner training with the kids, all that kind of stuff. No Supernova forever. No.
Oh no.
Surely no Metaphor forever. No. Barry Monkey says, I understood about half of what Vice said. Anybody else have trouble? I mean, she darts in and out between English and Spanish. So yes, for those that don't know Spanish, granted, she didn't do too much like hard Spanish. It's all mostly bottom level Spanish, but yeah, she definitely did pop in and out of Spanish and English, which is fine. Things Lola said that I caught on to. Lola Vice says that their friendship always had an expiration date. She called Elektra Lopez a leech, leeching onto her after she was left behind by Legado del Fantasma. And then Elektra comes out and says that she's seen Lola Vice backstage faking holding back tears when she gets any ounce of praise on social media.
Woof.
Elektra also says, I got here through hard work and determination, which got me the eye of Santos Escobar and LDF, while Lola, you got here from shaking your ass. 1 minute you're trying to be on Lifetime, and the other you're fake MMA fighter shadowboxing.
Woof. Go off, Elektra.
Wow, Elektra had the best promo she's ever had.
Right? I love this Elektra. She did everything she had to say. Loved it.
Mike the ref, who says when she switches language so easily, she has to be pissed. So, Astrid, you can either confirm or deny this. I, as the white person, will say this, so you can have the ability to say that it's terrible on my end. You know when you've pissed off a Hispanic person of any descent, Latino, Hispanic, Portuguese, any of them, Argentinian, a whole lot. When they go from English to Spanish to English in the same sentence, you know you done fucked up.
Oh, yeah. My bilingual brain cannot do just one. So for you to jump in from one to the other one so quickly, oof, you're in trouble. I'm telling you.
I just wanted to be sure that I was the one that said it, so that if we take any guff on it, the white guy said it and it's okay. But no, like when I've had friends who are Spanish, and when they get super upset, like we do in English, when we get loud, they just start switching languages because they switch to what feels comfortable. And especially if the person isn't a native English speaker first and learns Spanish, they typically go from English in the beginning when they're kind of okay, to Spanish in the middle where they know they're pissed off, to English as they've started to calm themselves down, mostly back to Spanish again before the end of it.
Yeah, and I think about it this way. With my bilingual brain, I gotta think things through before I say them because I want to make sure that I'm saying it in just one language. So, yeah, it was a lot.
Good advice from Mike, but also hurts to see and hear. If Elektra had this fire the whole time, she might have made the main roster. I agree. The biggest problem with putting LDF on the main roster and making it the LWO was the insistence to use Zelina Vega. I still think, I know you love Zelina. I get it. But I'm telling you, she's never from day one fit this group. I think she was put in there because Rey Mysterio wanted it. Because eventually I think he knew they were all going to be working together. And I think he chose to work with Zelina Vega because he'd seen her rather than Elektra Lopez, who he didn't know. That's my guess. Also,
with Zelina is that she has the experience that she's a good talker. So I feel like that's one thing that he probably noticed in her that could help the guys grow at the moment. But seeing Elektra tonight made me think again, this is such a good setup for her to have done kind of like loser leaves NXT type of match and go and team up with LDF in SmackDown right now. Like it lines up so well. And
but
it, like,
which side of LDF does she team with? Does she team with Santos
Legado.
and the Garzas?
Yeah.
Well, that's not Legado because the other side is Legado because remember.
No.
LWO is the baby faces.
I know, but if you
notice,
no, but if you notice on SmackDown right now, Santos and they dropped the last names if you haven't noticed yet. So they just Humberto and Angel. There's no Garza or Carrillo, and they're just funny enough now. But no, they're calling themselves LDF versus LWO. So I feel like even though she doesn't have the legacy aspect that they have, she would fit so well with them right now. Especially after hearing this promo tune, I kept thinking like, this is exactly what we needed from her. And I kept thinking this is such a good setup for that because if you think about like LWO versus LDF right now, they're missing the female piece on this side to go against Zelina. So I think that's an interesting timing too.
Yeah, no, I agree. And today they went back to the the trademarking board and they re-trademark Angel Garza again. So I think what happened is the trademark ran out and they wanted to protect themselves. Mike says if Zelina was 20 years older and closer to retirement, she would have been a better fit as a manager. I mean, I can kind of agree with that. I don't necessarily disagree. I just think that it was weird to bring a different female into the LDF when they first came up. It made more sense that when they left with her in the car. And then what did they do? Drop her off at her house before they went to the Raw and SmackDown?
It's like, we'll see you later.
Bye. Bye, honey. You made us a star. Now we're leaving. Goodbye.
Yeah.
We get the Tony D'Angelo family promo from in the car where they talk to OTM, tell them they made a big mistake. The two of them go off. Rizzo says only one thing where she yells, Jada. You're very unhappy. She yells Jada, and Tony tells the driver to hurry up. They have to get to the arena. Sure. Dragon Lee comes out. And then we go to
Dragon Lee. You've been waiting there for a while.
Yeah, because the next segment took a bit, and poor Dragon Lee was left standing in the ring this whole time.
I forgot he was in the ring when Scrypts came out. I was like, who's he facing? And then I see Dragon Lee in the corner. I went, oh, I forgot he was still there.
But before we get to Scrypts versus Dragon Lee, which, by the way, was actually a really good match, we have to get back to this backstage segment when they come back from commercial break. They're repossessing everything from Chase U. They're taking the helmets, they're taking the posters, they're taking the chalkboard, they took the desks, they took Duke's MVP trophy, they took Chase's podium, they took everything. And Duke says it can all be replaced. And then they took his MVP trophy, and he goes, without this university, without this trophy, I'm going to spiral quickly.
He's going to start gambling again.
Yeah. Well, remember, he wasn't even gambling. Andre was. I don't know what the hell Duke's going to do. Oh, I mean, Duke was the poker player. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd go back to the poker player gimmick. Oh, God.
That's all I can think about when he says spiraling. I went, oh, no, we already have one. We don't need another one.
We then see Andre tell Duke that next week they're going to go ahead and say their goodbyes, which I'm assuming means next week we find out whatever plot JC Jane had with the female student body, which again, I reiterate, should not be pimping them out or using an OnlyFans. However, I really think that's where the story's going. And it's going to be in bad taste, and it's going to be bad. But I think it'll be funny if I'm right. I won't be, but it'd be funny if I was. He then says, class dismissed. And he stands there in the room looking at a dark room, just like Will Smith did. And Astrid went ahead and showed me a picture that Shay had tweeted. If you don't know who Shay is a wonderful woman who reports via the Body Slam Network on NXT every Tuesday night. We don't yet have the calendar for the Chase U link. Sorry about that. But Mike, that link that you wanted for the Mandy Rose stuff, I told you how to get that. You're all set. You should be all set. I think she's still got a special going on. But Andre says class dismissed. And the segment ends. It might be the end of Chase U. It won't be, but it might be.
For 1 week, it'll be.
We then get Scrypts versus Dragon Lee with Obafemi watching from the Eagle's Nest. And I'll be honest, this is a really good match. Scrypts working with Dragon Lee was fantastic. Their acrobatic ability to do the Lucha Libre style. And I say Lucha Libre style. I don't think Scrypts knows how to wrestle the Lucha Libre style. However, I think all the past of him being in Cirque du Soleil and the ability that he has from all of that makes him perfect to work with the luchadors because he can do all the fancy stuff that they want to do. He needs a little bit of lessons on how to do some of the in-ring, step-to-step stuff. But he looked so much better in this match than Lash looked earlier on. He looked fantastic. By the way, I don't know if anybody else caught it. We skipped the Lash Legend match, and Astrid didn't even say anything in the notes.
No, I haven't. I just didn't say anything. I figure you were skipping it on purpose, so I just moved on.
Scrypts works I agree. He does work a Dick Grayson style. And for anybody who isn't a comic book fan, the Flying Graysons, Robin, they are circus ass, and he does this perfectly. But it melded so well with Dragon Lee. Like everything felt crisp, everything felt new, everything felt he wasn't ever out of place. The family comes in and runs off the rest of OTM on the outside. Dragon Lee goes ahead and gets the big win. Obafemi from up top says, guess what, Dragon Lee? I've decided to take up your proposal and you versus me for the North American title of Vengeance Day. Oba's getting a pay-per-view match. Yes, Oba. And do we have a happy birthday from Obafemi now that I've mentioned him?
No, but I have another one I can play now for you.
All right, go ahead and play another one.
Hi there, just want to wish a happy birthday to the one, the only Mr. Ed Fries, the man who's taking over each and every Tuesday. Just want to say I hope you're having an awesome day, one of the nicest people in our community and someone I'm privileged to call a friend. Have an awesome day, my friend, and see you soon.
You're muted.
I'm still muted. Thank you, Steve. I greatly appreciate that. If you guys haven't checked it out, Steve is doing a ton of work heading up to the Royal Rumble. Me and Ashley were lucky enough to be on another video with Steve where he gets 30 YouTubers, multitude of YouTubers to go ahead and talk about a specific subject. This time it was our thoughts on who's going to win the men and women's Royal Rumbles. I picked Gunther and Bailey, and you picked Bailey and Cody?
I forgot who was it now. I think I did Cody. It's been a bit.
But go ahead and check out the SCW channel, SCW, the wrestling channel on YouTube. He does fantastic work. He's got all kinds of shows going on. It's fantastic. We have Idris Enofe and Malik Blade backstage trying to figure out what to do next after they lost their first round match. They're holding the polka dot pants in their hands. And then positively Brinley, as I'm calling her now in my notes, because it's what she feels like, is super excited and she's happy. And she talks about, how great life is and this and that. They're like, but you lost the Battle Royal. You didn't even eliminate nobody. You just got chucked out. Why are you so happy? She's like, I wrote in my dream journal and I did this and I did that. And now I'm back to being happy. And Blade looks at her and gets up. He stands in front of her and he's like, look, we don't need this journal bullshit. We don't need any of this. All we need is a little bit of luck. And Brindley decides to get them luck. She's going to give them homework. So they have to write 5 things they liked about their tag match between Trick and against Trick Mello, and 5 things they didn't like. I'm going to go ahead and give them an answer. Number 1 on the things you didn't like. You lost the match.
I was gonna say my number 1 would be the things I didn't like, the finish. If I was them.
Yeah, that would be it too.
That's all I could think about.
Astrid, you should have added in somewhere Ed doesn't know just for the awkward pause.
That would have been weird.
It would be funny though.
Yeah, the only thing is like I went all out with this one because I made sure to put people that we both know and we have work with. So I know that Ed knows. And I did more than he did. So I can tell you that much. I went all out with this one.
Now, to be fair, when I planned your birthday thing, the biggest thing of planning I did for your birthday was going to be getting the cameo. And then when the cameo started coming late, I then had to scramble to get other people because the only thing I was planning on doing for your birthday was the Javier Bernal cameo. But it came late, so I had to do something else.
Okay. You want to play the last 2? One of them is very short, and then I'll put the other one right after. And then we're done. Okay.
This is Daphne Rivera wishing Ed a very happy birthday from the Hot Seat Podcast. Hopefully you enjoy it.
Thank you, Daphne. We greatly appreciate it.
Hello, happy birthday to my boy, my other tag team partner, Ed Fries, you old bastard. Happy birthday. Happy to be I'm happy you're my friend, and I'm happy you're another year older because that means that's another year you've been with us. So thank you. I love you, brother.
Well, Ed, I am not going to call you a bastard, but I'm going to say happy birthday from the Melball and the Melball people out here to you. It has been such a privilege and pleasure to work with you this last year, and we look forward to having many, many more years of Tiffy time celebrated by you on NXT Taking Over. Love you, boy.
Happy birthday, brother.
Thank you both. That was greatly appreciated. And if you want to see more of me and Andre, where I get to pick on him for calling me an old bastard, you can go ahead and catch us tomorrow night as we'll have the newest episode of MCU Rebound as we go live to talk about all things The Incredible Hulk 2005. This is the movie with Edward Norton as the Hulk that is technically in the MCU, so it qualifies for the MCU Rebound.
I keep forgetting that happened.
Yeah, everybody does. Well, that's the thing. It wasn't technically an MCU movie. It was made by Universal, but they have told us that it is canon and that everything that happened in that movie is canon for the Mark Ruffalo Hulk. All of it is supposedly one character, even though he changed. Maybe Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is a Skrull.
Ooh.
Anyways.
Yeah, I'm done with the video, so now you can breathe.
Oh. Don't tell me to breathe. I'm just going to cough. Also, please make sure that you check out Andre and Melball on YouTube. But more importantly, also, make sure that you check them out every Friday on our local establishment channel, as they have 2 episodes up already of the Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk, where they do a quick version of their shows. They talk about some of the bigger news and bigger stories. Hopefully this week to be able to go ahead and have Kazuchika Okada news on there, because unfortunately it broke too late for them to have it on this week's episode. And Barry's talking about the Incredible Hulk movie and not Andre and Melball's Wrestling Talk. Because Andre and Melball's Wrestling Talk is great, while the Incredible Hulk is pretty awful. Moving on, we got Lyra backstage, and she's talking to Tatum, and Tatum comes in, and Lyra says, we need to talk. Last week was a one-time thing. We're not partners. We're not friends. You know, you're special, Tatum. But, you know, I got my hands full. I got, you know, Roxanne coming up, and I need to focus on Roxanne. Roxanne's all that's important to me right now. I have to focus on that match. We're on the same page, right? And she walks away. And Tatum goes, yes, Roxanne. We're on the same page. And I'm like, this is where I mentioned in my notes, where I message Ashton and go, she's going to kill and bury Roxanne, isn't she?
No, pretty much.
And yes, as Asher did put up, it is Andre and Melball's Japanese wrestling update. I didn't remember what the exact show was called on the Art Local Establishment side, but I thought it was the same thing. Oh, I'm trying. Speaking of matches where newer talent goes ahead and gets a short match giving them a good showing, but otherwise uneventful. Blair Davenport beat Karmen Petrovic. Again, Karmen had a good match here, with the exception of one thing. I think she needs to stop going to the Seth Rollins school of injury selling, and if she hurts her ankle, she needs to continue selling the ankle for the rest of the match. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong.
The funny part is when Blair started coming out, I kept thinking, who's she going against? I really just blanked out. And then we come back from commercial and it's like Carmen's entrance happens and I went, I forgot this was happening.
The funny thing is, not only did you know this was happening, I sent you the graphic for it earlier today in our group chat with Bobby. We get Ridge Holland talking to Kelly Kincaid, and he says that he can't call for friends. He can't call the Brawling Brutes for help with Gallus. He's just got to go ahead and deal with it, because you know what? If he does, then he'll prove Gallus right if he calls for help. So I'm going to go ahead and take them on all by myself. And Kelly's like, excuse me? You're going to do what? And he says, yep. And he walks away. He's just going to make Mark a happy man getting to see Gallus all the time. It's going to be great. Mark Talks Wrestling is going to be so excited. By the way, for those that don't know, Mark Talks Wrestling makes all of our shorts. If you haven't noticed that there's been a change in our shorts, Mark is putting in a lot of time and a lot of effort. We greatly appreciate his work on the shorts. They have been fantastic. Ilya comes out for the main event match, not the main event segment, but the main event match between Josh Briggs and Trick Williams. And again, really good match. I really enjoyed this. Josh Briggs took a step forward, being a single superstar, having some good work, and really putting his foot forward on this show. I thought with this piece right here. What did you think of Josh Briggs in this match?
It's nice to see him, and just I'm start seeing him in a different light now, because I used to think of him like a comedy act with JPBJ, and then now between the music and the look and everything, I can take him more seriously now already. And it's nice to see him getting that sort of spotlight. I do feel bad for Brooks, because I feel like he's not going to get the same treatment that Josh is. And I do feel bad in that sense of it. He keeps posting pictures of like, I'm old school than a new era, whatever it's called. But that's what I keep thinking about, as I keep thinking of the visual here of Josh's entrance and the new, like, I don't want to say new look, but he looked a little bit different in the sense of like the attitude, if you think about it that way. And I kept reminding myself, was like, this is the guy that was just doing a comedy act a couple weeks ago. Who is this guy now? Because it's a totally different person already as it is, with just JBL's speech, to put it like that, to him. So it's like, imagine this is just the start of it. And it's nice to see him kind of jumping into like that main event scene with like people like being involved with Ilya and Trick already. So just like, I can't only imagine when they keep going after this.
Yeah, the Iron Survivor really did a lot of good for him, because it gave him that connection with JBL. And him and JBL are kind of like, obviously they're not the same. Like, JBL is a wrestling god. Like, he's not a wrestling god, but he's a Hall of Famer. He's fantastic. He's one of the best that's ever done it. Like him, hate him, think he's an asshole on Twitter or whatever. Like, the dude is talented. The dude is one of the best that's ever been in the ring. And if you want to know why, just look at his career. He went from, all the things he did before with like the Blue Brothers and crap like that, and JBL and the new Blackjacks and all that bullshit. And then he got paired with Ron Simmons and the Acolytes, and the Acolytes turned into the APA, and the APA was one of the greatest things. Like, they were a comedy act who was taken super seriously, because their comedy act was backstage, and in the ring, we're going to beat the fuck out of you. We don't care what you are, who you are, what you do. And then he became the JBL wrestling god character with the New York Stock Exchange and the pretty suits and the nice hair. And it's just fantastic that he was able to do all that. Josh Briggs is going to do something sort of similar here. They wrestle the same, which is more important than anything else with him and JBL, is they have a similar style. They have a similar size, height. That clothesline that Josh does reminds me of that JBL clothesline from hell. It's effective. It's good. It looked great tonight when he hit Trick with it after the match. It looked fantastic. And Trick's a big dude, so to make him like fall to the ground like a sack of potatoes the way he did tonight was great. I really appreciated what that did. But the best thing that happened in this match was that Briggs got that big boot right to the face of Ilya Dragunov. And it instantly puts him in that position so that if Ilya wins and Ilya's still the champion come outside Stand and Deliver, Briggs is a viable candidate to take on Ilya Dragunov post Stand and Deliver. But not only is he a viable candidate, he feels like he belongs in this division. He went from the tag team division to the top of the thing, and the only thing that changed was the Iron Survivor. He got in that Iron Survivor, and he did his thing, and then he got that little thing with Metaphor, and then he went forward. And this is the Briggs that I've seen around the New England area in the Indies, and I'm very excited to see what he does and shows on NXT with this type of a character. And of course, we can't talk about this match without talking about the fact that after Briggs hits him with the big boot, Trick gets him with a super kick, gets him in the ring, and Ilya tries to get in, but Mello pops up out of nowhere and holds Ilya down and throws him to the ground. Trick gets slightly distracted, but goes ahead and tries to hit Josh. It doesn't quite work. He does a roll up. He gets the 1, 2, 3. Briggs hits him with the clothesline and then the stare off. Trick is mad at Mello because Mello got involved when he told Mello not to get involved. Mello's mad at Trick because Trick doesn't realize that Mello thinks that Ilya's coming after him. Ilya just wants to get at Josh Briggs because Josh Briggs kicked him in the face. And then he got mad at Mello because Mello put his hands on him. Yeah, it's a lot of ring around the rosy. But it made for this great stare down when Josh Briggs left. And it's just the three guys staring at him. And that could be, it shouldn't be, but I think it might be the main event of Stand and Deliver is the triple threat for the World Championship of Stand and Deliver. And it shouldn't be. It should be the one-on-one match between Mello and Trick. Mello and Trick need to have the main event by themselves, whether it's for the title or not for the title. We're not going to rehash the discussion. We had that last week. But I definitely think that needs to be the main event of Stand and Deliver is the singles match. We got Barry saying Briggs has all the ability to be the fourth man in a faction on the main roster. I think Josh Briggs has the ability to be on his own on the main roster as just a big guy. I don't think he needs anybody or needs anything. If given the opportunity, the guy can talk. The guy can work. Is he ever going to be the top star? No. I'll be honest. He won't be. He's not Seth Rollins. He's not Roman Reigns. He's not Randy Orton. He's not that good. But he can be a North American champion. He can be a U.S. champion. He can be an Intercontinental champion. He can be a viable upper mid-carder, lower main event guy. He can be that Dolph Ziggler type guy. No, he doesn't sell like Ziggler, but he has that ability to just be there. And if he gets a world title match, it makes sense. But if he doesn't get the world title matches and he's only in that next level, it makes perfect sense too. Barry Monkey says, my favorite bit was when someone forgot to press the button to cut the crowd swearing. Yeah. Oh, the crowd was on fire tonight. But they need to. I'm going to ask the CWC crowd, can you stop chanting holy shit? Please, for the love of God. I want to hear my fucking wrestling products. Stop swearing.
No.
Am I right? Like, these people at these shows need to stop swearing so we can hear the whole product. Because there was like half of a promo that somebody was cutting, but they they did something in the ring and they cut out half of the words because the crowd was chanting something and I
thought
couldn't
it
hear what the
was
person
the Lola
said.
Electro part, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably. I mean, I don't know.
And
it was something.
Yeah, I know when they were fighting, you could hear them talking, but then they had moments that they really censored the crowd in that part. And then this was another one I think it happened in too.
We talked about the contract signing. That's pretty much the rest of the match, the rest of the show. But we do have a promo for Vengeance Day, which has almost an entire card at this point. The Dusty Finals will be the Wolf Dogs, Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker, taking on either the LWO or Trick Mello. We have Trick versus Ilya for the World Championship. We have Oba Femi versus Dragon Lee for the for the North American Championship. We have a 6-person tag team match between the D'Angelo family and OTM. No titles on the line, unfortunately, in that one. I thought that would have been a good spot. No, that's for the show. That's for Vengeance Day.
Really? Huh?
Mm-hmm. On the Vengeance Day card. And then, of course, we had the match that was the contract signing, Lyra Valkyria versus Roxanne Perez for the Women's Championship. We're going to get one more match. I don't know what it's going to be. I think it might be Dijak versus Gacy. I can't think of anything. Like, here's the sad thing. I can't think of a women's feud that needs to have a match on this card. Oh, Lola versus... No, that's happening next week. I was going to say Lola versus Elektra.
Yeah,
that's happening next week. That would have been a match that I think I would have... Well, do I put Lola Vice on a PLE? No. I don't put Lola Vice on a PLE.
I would do maybe a pre-show, but not even Vengeance Day itself. No.
And that has fortunately been the end.
Wait, you're not going to talk about JC and Thea? Were you skipping that on purpose?
Oh, I did forget that. I'm sorry. It was in between the Trick Mello segment backstage with Trick and Mello that I basically already talked about. So Thea's backstage and she's talking about how Chase U was her entire life. It's everything to her. And now it's gone. And JC goes, no, I'm working on it. I got some things in the works. And then Lexis King comes in and I think he's hitting on Thea Hale. I can't quite be certain, but it was creepy and I didn't like it, which made me think he's a good heel because it was being filmed. So obviously it was planned for the show, but it made me feel icky, which means that he's doing a good job because it made me feel icky. And if it makes me feel icky and Thea Hale's on screen and she's not the one making me feel sick, that's progress. But out comes Riley Osborne to save the day. Riley sends Lexis King off somewhere, and Lexis says some shit, and I could care less. And Riley sits there, and Thea calls him my savior, my hero. Like she's like, no, our hero, because she realizes that she's being too fangirly for Riley. And Riley's like, hey, can we have a chat one-on-one sometime soon? Or later on tonight. I'm like, dude, the show's almost over. Can you talk to her now, please? Like, come on.
I was about to say, when is this going to happen?
We'll probably get it as either a digital exclusive or we'll get it next week.
Yep.
Barry Monkey says, this is why NXT needs a women's tag title. Another reason to promote the women's roster. Yeah, I mean, they could use a women's tag team title. The problem is they don't have any teams right now, so I don't know if you can really have a tag division. The one team you had, you just broke up, which is Lola and Elektra. Like, the only team you technically have left is Lash and Chikara, right? It's the only real team you've got left.
Yep.
But that was NXT tonight. It has been a fantastic show. I'm glad it's over. I'll be honest. A little glad it's over. Astrid, tell us all the good things that we can find with you this week. Because you got a big week coming up.
First, I will say happy birthday to you because I didn't get to say it myself. I appreciate you a lot. You know, you can't get rid of me. And you know, you're one of the people like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you either. So you can add that my name to that list too. For me, you can find me on my Twitter and Blue Sky as Astrid Pizarro, and then Threads and Instagram is Astrid Pizarro 20. Hopefully this weekend you'll see a lot of stuff on my YouTube channel. Hopefully after I do the media stuff for the weekend. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, going to the Rumble weekend. Super excited, but nervous at the same time.
Astrid's going to talk to Julius Creed. I'm excited to see the video of her going as red as my shirt when that man walks up with his brother and I. But if you want to go ahead and support Astrid, please, if you're buying anything on the WWE shop for Rumble weekend, please make sure that you go ahead and use this QR code to go ahead to her shop affiliate link, where you can go ahead and pay the exact same prices that you would pay if you were buying it straight from WWEshop.com. But this just puts a little bit of money in Astrid's pocket, which can help us do some wonderful things. More importantly, her do some wonderful things. Less me, but we'll see how it goes. And also
the graphics we make.
Yes, it does pay for the canvas so that I can help make graphics. The other thing you can do if you want to support Astrid a little bit more, get this wonderful T-shirt right here that you can see on screen with the lovely Mel Ball Collins and Mike the Ref modeling here. The wonderful Astrid Pizarro T-shirt. You can go ahead and check that out. This is another closer picture of the design. And I believe that this is the link for the shirt where you have the QR code and you have the link right there if you want to go ahead and write that link down. But that's all the wonderful things that you got going on from Astrid this week. Me, I don't got much going on. You can find me on Twitter at edfries12584. You can find me on the Twitch at twitch.tv/edfries2002. Not quite there yet, but I'm getting closer, and I'm looking forward to the AARP card. Man, to be able to have a card to get me money off my dinner, absolutely. Senior night, I can't wait. Another 20 years and I get senior night. But no, you can go ahead and find me there. I simulcast all of our local establishment live stuff on my Twitch channel, so you can go ahead and find me there. You can go. I don't even have the comments up right now because I have the banners up. I'll look at those in a minute. You can go ahead and find me tomorrow night on our local establishment and on my Twitch channel as me and Andre go ahead and talk about MCU Rebound, The Incredible Hulk. You can also find me next week here on Taking Over. You can then find me and Astrid on the pre-show prediction show where we're going to have a special guest as we go ahead and predict all things Vengeance Day. And then on Sunday the 4th, you can have a post-show with me and Astrid as we go ahead and talk all things Vengeance Day after it's happened. That same weekend, I'm going to go ahead and get to meet Jake something. Astrid will be jealous. I'll send her a picture and be like, wish you were me.
Hey, I got a reply from him. That's good enough for me. I'm a happy girly. I seen him live.
All right, we got Barry Monkey saying, Ed, I love you. You saved me from insert this reason. Happy birthday, you big swine. Bundle of loveliness. Yes, that was a bit awkward and strange, but I love it, Barry Monkey. Thank you very much. By the way, that is a similar, so a little bit of inside baseball. I work for a company. I send out random emails a lot of the time. I have a form letter that literally I have it written out, and I just literally have an insert thing here, and I delete it and add it in. So it's good morning, good evening, or good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when I send the email. And I delete the other ones. And then it says, can you please attach, and it says insert files names here for insert date here. And then when you get the chance. Because the person who was here before me used to send mean emails, and they didn't like it. So I was taught very early that I have to do a nice, easy form letter. And that just made me laugh because that's essentially what that was. Thank you all for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. We will see you next time on Taking Over. Goodbye.